Believe it or not, but the first thing that a woman notices when she sees you is your aura or your energy. She can tell just by looking at you a little bit about what kind of person you are, because the way you carry yourself, the way you engage with the people around you, the way you maneuver within your surroundings will give her a pretty good indication of whether you feel confident both in the world and in your own skin. So how grounded are you within yourself? She can tell that just by looking at you. And some of the tips that I can give you about how to be able to provide a really great, attractive essence is to work on being confident and work on being comfortable within yourself. And what that can look like in the real world is actually just going out into different situations that you're not used to and not comfortable with and practicing getting comfortable. So it doesn't even matter where you are. You could go to the grocery store if you're not comfortable going to the grocery store when it's busy, and just practice owning it in the grocery store and getting what you want, or not cowering to someone who wants to get the cucumber that you want, if it's a guy, let's say. But otherwise, go out and explore different areas of life where you are normally not engaged in, and just get more comfortable doing different things and being in different places so that you get used to handling different situations, and then it's more comfortable when you end up in a situation where there's an attractive woman that you want to talk to, for example, or that she notices you. So the first thing is your essence, your stance, your energy, your vibe, basically. So you want to stand up straight, shoulders back, and keep your head held high. Like, you don't be looking at your feet the whole time, because then she's going to wonder if you're kind of depressed. If you're hunched over and you can't make eye contact with anybody, it's really a sign that you're either not confident within yourself or that you are not happy in the world, and neither of those things is attractive to a woman. And then, of course, the second thing that a woman is going to notice about you is your physical appearance. And this includes how fit you are based on what she can see, the kind of clothes you're wearing, how groomed you are in terms of your hair, if you've brushed your teeth, like all these things. And I've mentioned some of these things actually in another video about the qualities that women find attractive. But she's going to notice these things about you because she will also, whether correctly or incorrectly, gauge just how much attention you pay in your world. Like, if you are disheveled when you're out in the world, well, that might give her the impression that you're lazy, or that you just really don't care about your physical appearance. And for some women, that's going to look like you're lazy, and for some women, that might look like you just don't care. But if it's that you're just really super comfortable with yourself and you don't care, that's going to come across in the way that you're handling yourself and moving and engaging with your environment. So she can tell a lot about you by your behavior and your physical behavior in the world. She's going to make assumptions and judgments about that, not necessarily bad, but she has to, because she wants to try to evaluate what kind of person you are when she looks at you. Women are visual in that they are evaluating what kind of character you have based on what she can see with her eyes, whereas men are usually looking at beauty standards, like how attractive is this woman, basically sexually. So women don't think that way. They don't think about, 3 steps down the road, is she going to want to have sex with you? She is evaluating if she even wants to get to know you as a person. So that's the second thing, is your overall physical appearance. And then the next thing she's going to notice about you is, again, this kind of goes back to environment, but how you interact with others around you. So whether you're, with a group of friends or if you're by yourself, she will be watching to see how you engage with the other person. Are you confident within yourself? Are you listening? Are you checking out other girls if you're with a girl? It could be on a business lunch and you're, still checking out other girls, which you shouldn't do just because it's disrespectful. But anyways, she'll evaluate whether or not you are actively engaged in conversation if you're with a group of people, or if you're kind of just listening in on the sidelines. And what does that tell her? That might tell her if you're shy or if you're an introvert. Again, your body language and posture will reveal a little bit more about whether you're just an introvert or if you're actually shy. Shyness is not attractive. Shyness is a sign of low self-esteem. And I used to be very, very shy. And yes, I had really low self-esteem. And I got over that, but I'm still actually actually an introvert. Like, I spend a lot of time on my own when I do go to social events, which I force myself to. I don't last very long. I often like to just listen in on conversations without actually engaging in them, but I don't shy away from conversation. And if there's something that I feel strongly about, or that I feel inclined to contribute to the conversation in some way, then I will. Like, I don't have a hesitation about contributing to a conversation. So those are things that she's going to watch for when she's actually looking at you. And then even if you're out on your own, she will watch to see how you engage with other people around you, like strangers, or like the barista, for example. If you're at a coffee shop, do you treat that person with respect? Do you have a conversation with them? Do you laugh? Are you humorous? Are you, friendly with the people around you? Or do you kind of stay to yourself? Again, signs of either introversion or extroversion, and whether also signs of shyness or confidence. So you kind of want to watch for that. And any of these areas where you are lacking in a skill, you can get better at. I did, right? Like, I couldn't even go for a walk down the street because I was so self-conscious. I got over that. I actually applied to do a TED Talk, which I think you're probably familiar with. They rejected me, but I was okay with that. If they hadn't, I would have had to go up and speak in front of people on stage, and that would have gone out to potentially millions of people. So it's not about changing your core personality. Like, if you're an introvert, that's okay. I'm an introvert, and that's okay. We have engaging conversations, and we have our own kind of inner world. We just engage with the world differently, but there's a difference between shyness and introversion. So you definitely, if you're an introvert, then you need to build up your confidence muscle. And if you're an extrovert, and you can actually be an extrovert and still be shy, sometimes it shows up as sort of over-engaging, or sort of compensating with gregariousness or humor or assertiveness, or actually even pushiness. That's inappropriate, right? So if it comes across as arrogance, then that's actually another sign of insecurity, where you're trying to compensate for not really actually being that comfortable with yourself. You don't have to be loud and obnoxious to be an extrovert, and you don't have to be loud and obnoxious to be confident. So essentially, the first things that she's going to notice about you are things that you can work on. You can't change what God gave you, but you can change the clothes you wear. You can make sure your shirts are ironed. You can make sure they're clean. You can make sure you don't smell bad. You can make sure your teeth are brushed. You can make sure that your hair is washed. You can make sure that you're standing up straight. You can make sure that you're walking with long strides and confidence. If you're sitting in a group and you have room, make space. Like, when a guy sits and he kind of spreads out his legs, that's taking up space. That's very, very alpha quality. And as long as you're not bumping people out of the way, don't be rude about it. And that's kind of obnoxious and arrogant, but take up space. And same thing when you're standing in one place, kind of stand with, your arms out on your hips, and your feet at least shoulder width apart, because that's like, the Superman pose. You're taking up space because you're confident enough to be in the space and to be seen. You have to be okay with being seen. And then beyond that, the first thing a woman is actually probably going to notice is your eyes. So if you have, okay, I'm going to give you a different look. Here's, right? So different look there, right? I don't want to get too flirty with you, but there's a vibrancy and a connection that you can make with your eyes that is very, very attractive. And doesn't matter how tall you are, doesn't matter how rich you are, doesn't matter how well hung you are. These are the things that she's going to notice first. If you look at her, try to make eye contact and be engaging, like inclusive, and don't stare her down. I don't believe in unbroken eye contact. To me, that feels aggressive. I don't like it when a guy just stares without looking away. It makes me feel like he's leering. Leering is not a good thing. Make her feel comfortable, because a woman's primary need is to feel safe. So you want respect and sex, and women want to feel safe and sex. So I hope that helped. Those are the three things. So let's go through them again. So the three things that a woman is first going to notice about you is your energy or your vibe, and then she's going to notice how you're actually put together with your grooming and your style and your clothing, and how you carry yourself in your environment. And the third thing is she's going to see how you engage with other people around you, whether you're with a group or by yourself.